So I suppose the talk for today, it's not so much about my book, or it's around my book, but it's not really about the contents of it. It's more about the experience of getting the contract signed and what happened to me. I've been writing and reviewing paper for kind of a long time, but this experience of, I suppose that's my first real monograph. I edited a few books in the past, but that was fairly easier because in that case I just thought about something. I had a few connections with publishers, suggest the idea, they say, yeah, great, we do that, and we have some budget to do that, so I collect all the information, put it together, edit it, publish it. So that was quite a straightforward process. For this monograph it's slightly different, because again, it's my first serious book, and obviously I went through a series of interesting stories to get this book where it is now. So I thought it might be interesting to share with you. So again, don't be disappointed if I don't talk too much about the contents. I just go around. If you want to know a little bit more about the books, I'm very happy to talk later. Yeah, maybe if I use the right computer, it'll be helpful. Now, this whole book really started a few years ago when this is one of the very interesting magazines, or it's in between magazine and journal, that we all in architecture read and collect and discuss about. It has a very long history anyway. So I thought, because of the stuff I'm doing now about digital cities and smart cities really fits within what they're doing here, I thought I might suggest like a special issue of the journal. And I think it was the perfect fit for what I was thinking. I'm not expecting you to read these all emails. I just copied here because I think it's funny to see the timeline. So September the 7th, 2015, back to the new academic year. As you see, the whole thing starts in September because that means then over summer I was just thinking, planning new things to do for the year. You won't see anything happen in October, December because we will all be anyway. So September 15, there I remove all names just to be a little bit fair. But the commissioning editor, that's me. I've been doing this, I've been doing that. What about this possible book that talks about discrete cities, smart cities, and all that? My computer. So September the 7th, 2015. Got an answer, October 19, so a month and a half already passed before my first answer. There's Silvio, thank you very much, it will be very nice, let's chat about these. That's the template, so please fill the template and we have a look at it. It took me about a month and a half to get together all my proposal, send it back to the editor, attach my proposal, hope you find it interesting. Contact me if you need anything else. In this phase, it was very beneficial for me to chat with some colleagues in the school, Paul Curriton who left, and other colleagues. I think I discussed the first stage with Grace as well. And they give me very, very good feedback on how to structure the proposal and what to emphasize on. It's very, very good. So, 5th of September 2015, 28th of September 2016. Okay? All this time I was just waiting. Should I write again? Oh, I just sent an email. You received my last email? No reply. Wait again, no reply. Finally, September 28th, so 1 year after I started this whole process, I received this very kind email says, thank you very much, but we don't really want to go on with this project because I have another one. I have another similar project in the pipeline. Of course you have. You haven't replied me for ringing. So anyway, thanks for now. Keep us updated about your beautiful work. Bye. So September. Then I said, well, I talked again to Grace and other colleagues inside the university and outside of the university. I don't really know what to do. I was really hoping for these. The editor gave me some confidence that they were interested. The topic is very fitting. I don't think I'm too bad to write for that magazine or journal. I think I don't know what's going on there. I said, well, why don't you just convert this into a proper monograph? So you expand a little bit more. Consider that during all this time I was actually working on several journal articles. So actually I had enough material to start on this book. I said, well, actually it's a good idea. So that happened between September and October 2016, and then December 2016 I said, okay, I will contact Routledge Architecture, which was possibly one of the best fit based on the books they published. They're very similar to what I was after. A lot of my references are from that kind of book series and area, so I said, well, maybe it's the right thing to do. Contact them from Routledge Architecture. Very excited, yeah, great, template, fill the template, so start doing that. And then they, at a certain point, it's a very long story, basically the editor went off in maternity leave, and then just came back at a certain point after months and say, okay, maybe your right fit is in Routledge Urban Studies or Urban Design. Okay. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because I'm talking about digital cities. So, although my angle was, I'm talking about digital city, yes, but I'm talking about buildings. I'm talking about the architecture of it. I'm not talking about anyway. Say, okay, so I've been passed through this old editor, so starts over. Hello, my name is Silvio, blah blah, doing this. And finally, my proposal went to review. Okay. They asked for 4 reviews. Only 2 came back. Okay, after a few months. Reviewer 1. This is a strong proposal. The book should be certainly published. It's a much needed contribution to the literature and address what is underexplored nexus of planning, data, and design. So, very favorable. Please do publish it. And then not really interested in this. I really recommend this book for publication. Okay, so very happy. What did you think that review number 2 said? Review number 2. Yeah, to start with. It was very rude, actually.
Yeah, that is rude.
So, when asked when the monograph will actually be more fitting, they said this monograph that pertains to the visual arts. I said, what is that? It's about digital cities. It's about. It also used computation, but no computer scientist would have any interest in this as it is. As a purely visual, as far as I can see. Right. So I was a little bit put off, to be honest with you, about this. Of course, is there any point that it's weak, which is another nice way to say is there any point of improvement in this proposal? The whole proposal is non-existent. I think like 30 pages. It's premature to call it weak.
Oh my God.
I mean, maybe it's a mediocre proposal, but it's not that bad. Come on. So obviously I don't recommend this book for publication. You're surprised. So, with only 2 reviews out of the 4, the commission editor said, well, you know what, I like your proposal. Reviewer number 1 likes your proposal, but with that review, I can go to the board. I can't do that. So what we do then? All right, leave it with me, Routledge Urban Design. Say, okay, I send it over to other 2 or 3 reviewers, so hopefully they will be slightly more positive on this one, and maybe we can go to the board. We wait a few months, no answer from anybody. I said, what will we do then? And she said, well, maybe if nobody's interested in reviewing your book, maybe it's not interesting at all. Well, that makes sense. So, just to recap, I started in December 2016 this idea, Routledge Architecture bumped me back into urban design. And it took me a relatively good timing between January and July, so it was good. And then I was literally upset. I said, okay, what do we do then? Again, talking to colleagues, I said, oh, you know what, just send it to MIT and see what they think. I did that, obviously they say, well, no. I sent it to Sage, and they say, well, potentially yes, let's see, and they eventually say no. And then Wiley, an interesting one. I get this immediate reply from the commissioner editor, who, the very first day, the very same day I sent the proposal, I say, well, it sounds great, it's actually what we're looking for. At the moment, we really need a book that covers that topic. Why do we meet? I said, well, wow, a meeting, that sounds good. So we meet here, the person actually came here from Oxford. We met, we spent a few hours of tea, discussing the proposal, discussing common people we know, other authors, and so the whole thing was very positive and very enthusiastic, and the editor said, send me everything, I'm very happy to bring it forward. We go for review as usual, but very positive. I'm still waiting. Okay, it just disappeared. And then I thought, you know what, I don't know what to do. And then somebody said, I read my proposal and said, you know what, it looks like very, very geography type of stuff. Why do you send it to Radcliffe Geography? They have a section about urban standards. Why do you send it to them? All right, that's right. Did that. I received a very enthusiastic email from the editor saying, yeah, great, very interested. Template. As you can imagine, it was full of templates. So send the template back. There's Silvio, many thanks, your book proposal. Really enjoyed reading this. Finally, somebody a bit more positive. The book sounds fascinating. Good. We're very happy to send it to review and blah, blah. If it's okay for you, it will take about 6 weeks. It's very fine by me. So that's August. By November, apologies for the delay. Because then in the meantime, the reviewers came back. It's all fine. I will prepare everything and present to our next board meeting on Tuesday. On Tuesday. Wow, it's fantastic. Oh, by the way, all the reviews were positive. It's fine. And then in December I signed the contract. So it was. So I don't really know what happened. Right, so the official title is this: Big Data Code in Discrete City, Shaping the Public Realms, first edition. Very promising. Now, the title was slightly different, just a bit of anecdote here. But they said, well, we need to have this word in the title. We need to have this word in the title, otherwise we won't sell enough copies. But I'm not really talking about it. I mean, we did the art there, but it's not the main. We need to have that in the title. Fine, okay, I'm happy with that. So, once I've got the contract signed, then we start the real job, to write this actually. Okay, at the moment I had a few papers here and there, a few series of notes, 10 or 15 templates with proposals, but book wasn't there. So, right, so I start in January 2018, this year, actually really actively working this book. Deadline is January 2019, end of January. Okay. So just to give you an idea, I start very enthusiastic. In January, semester A was just finished. And then between January and June 2018, I literally managed to work on a part of chapter 3. Okay, and I said, wait a minute. I still have like 6-7 months, 5 chapters to write. Oh. That's not going good. Luckily, and this is a bit personal, but some of you know that, my family decided to go to Spain for a month and leave me alone in my house on annual leave to work on the book. Wow, it's a one-time opportunity in my life to actually have 1 month for myself and finish this book. And actually, because I really like to work hard in these things, I spent between the end of June and the beginning of August literally working probably 12, 14, 15 hours a day non-stop, which I loved. not forever, because I won't die, but for a short period of time, it's very, very healthy for me, at least. It was very, very enjoyable. You know, you wake up very early, have a good breakfast, start writing straightforward. Before you know it's lunchtime, you have a sandwich, you go for a run. At the end of the day, you have a glass of wine, and then over and over and over and over and over and over. So don't reply to any text or friends, don't talk to anybody, just go over and over and over. It's very, very nice. I didn't talk to anybody for days. It was like a very strange experience. But I managed to write 6 chapters, or 5.5, like that. I felt a little bit empty at the end. You know, when you reach that stage that you can actually say anything more. So that's enough. You know, I need more time to think because I don't have anything to say. But that was a good exercise, I think. I really love that. That's the book, okay? So apart from the usual preface and acknowledgements, introduction part, the real interesting bit is divided in 3 parts, okay? Part 1, I'm working around the idea of discretization. I think I talked to Alana ages ago. I tried to describe what I was trying to say there. And how, well, in a nutshell, what I'm saying, the whole story of the book is because the digital technologies that we all use and live in is so ingrained in our life that everything now, it's very easy for us to live and perceive things using the logic of computers. So I suppose that's the underlying message there. And so, for instance, chapter 3, which is I suppose my favorite, is basically I take a few case studies, about 20, 25 examples of automatic play recognition algorithms, or algorithms that sort things out, for instance, of spam filter. Okay, I take them, I show the algorithm, and then I kind of explain in my words, which unless you might laugh about, but I try to explain it from the architect point of view. I try to explain how these algorithms work and what we do as designers to work with them. And then in chapter 4, I actually describe how this logic that underpins everything we do, we work with, is actually changing the way we design. And I give examples there. And then I expand this whole notion to the public, which is really what interests me. But that's the book in a nutshell. So one thing that, for instance, is in the book is this map that I did. So I tracked, this is central London, around Covent Garden. So, it's Covent Garden. So what I did, I mapped the public Wi-Fi routers that are there. They are available. You know, when you go around, you find an open Wi-Fi. It can be the cloud, or it can be BT, one of them. So I mapped them all. I had a list of 5 or 6 major providers. There might be some smaller ones, but they are not included. And then I mean, that's a rough estimation, but I calculated, obviously depend on the size and type of router, but more or less they have a coverage, okay? So what I did, I mapped them, and then I create an offset of these points, where the coverage of so the reach of the Wi-Fi network should be, okay? And then immediately identify the kind of black spots, gray areas, where there is no Wi-Fi. And so one of the things I'm arguing there is that if you go physically in the space there, if you walk to the streets, you will find there are places where people prefer to stay. So I would encourage you to actually walk in this place and see whether you see people hanging around with their phone. Probably not. So I suppose what I'm trying to say in this part of the book is that the availability of technology, and in this particular case of Wi-Fi, really affects the way we actually use and live in space, in the city. These are all examples. I don't want to go through all of them, but I just want to show you the kind of flavor of the book. So there are a few, a lot of case studies, a lot of analysis. The first 2 chapters are all about rebuilding the notion of production of space, which is a notion from Lefebvre in our kind of area. We really build on that. And then these one, I think Lube already saw that in Grenoble. I show a video, which, if you like, I can show you very quickly. It's a very quick, like a minute. So what I did in this video, which obviously you can't see.
Play the output.
I know. Fortunately, it's an HDMI cable. Oh, come on. It's a cool video. If I describe it, doesn't work. Very bold.
Is it embedded in the PowerPoint?
No, it's outside. No. It's just this.
Can you show us just on your screen? Just turn your screen around.
I
Or
could.
is it too small? Like,
So, then we make.
Oh, but that's because it's not using a Mac.
That's what it is.
Come on, that's Microsoft.
You're not
You don't
using a
know.
Mac, that's the problem.
That's the problem. You're not using a Mac. That's Microsoft. I didn't realize.
you deserve everything you get.
Maybe not everything, but
Come
quite a few
on.
things.
I was almost there anyway. I think the video really is interesting.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I can see the video.
Yeah, but then I cannot see my screen. That's fine. Yeah. Right. So, stop that for a second. So what I did here, I create a simulation of a public space, in this case a cafeteria, where I can talk to, where I basically try to visualize how the computer will actually see us. Okay, so that's the computer reading through the space. It starts blank because the computer has no data to analyze. But as soon as we don't have sound, but as soon as the computer hear the voices of people, start to recognize the accent, the language, and start to kind of infer spatial information. How many people are they? Basically, it's profiling everything and everything. And you will see now the computer will actually focus on one particular person, retrieving information from anything he finds, from social media to, because again, it's tapping into the Wi-Fi information you can find. You see, it's basically reading all the devices that she has, is sniffing all the packets that she actually sent and received, and the computer is returning a profile now. So she's focusing on this lady here, and she's kind of loading a series of information from the Fitbit she has. Yeah.
Silvio,
Yes.
is this theoretical or is it actually? Surely
No, it's theoretical.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah, I know.
I would probably get arrested for this.
But it's possible to do it though.
It is.
This is
Yeah.
conceivably possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
more than that, it's
And
quite a
then,
big
and then it's
task.
getting, and then
So you're
That's
you
what
see,
Facebook
and then when it gets
is.
interesting. So
I'm-
the
I'm
computer
sure
is analyzing
US
the,
or GCHQ can do all this.
is analyzing the social profile of this lady, analyzing productivity, the inner circle, social worth, the extra relationship, the life expectancy. So she's got 37% of cheat each partner, things like that. So at the end, if you notice at the end, there was a kind of box there where actually this person has been classified, categorized, and weighted. So put in a database, say this person is X and worth X, Y, whatever. So that's just a demonstration, really.
Sure you're not rushing.
So, yeah, that was the video. Right, so concluding this presentation, I just want to share with you what I've learned from this whole process. Okay? Oh, by the way, the book is almost there, so first draft, as you saw, is there. Struggle to find time to actually finish parts of it, but I will manage to do that in 4 months because it's really that I want to finish the book. I thought to ask for an extension, as you do, but then I thought, but then, I was talking to Barbara, and Barbara said, well, you know what, the book will come back anyway with all the kind of set of comments. You need to work again on the book anyway. So just finish the first draft and send it and see what you think. So it's fair comments. Fair. So okay, so that's why I do. So probably that will be my Christmas. Okay. Working on this stuff, which I love. But right, so what I've learned. First thing, persistence eventually pays off. Okay, so if I had stopped on the first time, you remember the review number 2, I was like, oh, I can't write a book. That's not for me. But obviously, some people think differently. Now, the second thing I discovered is that you've got these niche editors, or in this case, because architecture, all the stuff is not mainstream publication, just it's a portion of the book market. Architects in particular can be very mean when it comes to assess somebody else's work. I find it that
I've heard that elsewhere.
yeah.
So an engineer was presented to a bunch of architects for the mark. The engineer was very nice.
Exactly, that's exactly what
Trust
happened to
me,
me.
that's not the case. I submit to engineering journals, and the feedback I receive are much more good than that one.
In engineering.
In engineering as well.
Okay, well.
No, it really
can be
depends
very
on the
rich.
person. It really depends on the person.
And in art history as well.
Yeah, they can be very. It
know
really
about
depends.
So my experience, the colleagues from geography were much more open and helpful, if you like, than my kind of fellow architects. Third thing I discovered is the importance of my colleagues. As you notice, I mentioned a few times, I talked to this person, I talked to the other person, and some of my choices were driven by those comments or support, which is, I find it very, very, very nice, to be honest. And you're really anonymous person in this, although you are writing on your own. But a fourth thing, which is less evident, is that it's very important to know who the publishers are, who the editors are. You don't know who the reviewers are. Although I really literally did my best to find who the reviewer number 2 was. I did everything, but I couldn't find that. I will. Yeah. So knowing who is who is very important, because again, you might not submit to a journal, or yes, you might submit to that particular publisher or journal because they might appreciate your work. The fifth thing is, when you're writing up, planning is everything, although it doesn't really work. Because I plan to work from January, so I said, okay, I'm going to write about 500 words. Because as you know, we all have different commitments and different things crop up, and then it's done. So planning is not everything, pressure is everything for me. I had 28 days or 22 days to work on my book, to finish five chapters. I did that because I knew the time, the time was clocking. I need to finish chapter 5 by Friday. So that's the only moment I can do that. The final thing I discovered is I just love writing. I mean, I've been writing basically all my career for different things, but the monograph was the first time I did this. I can't do that forever. I asked myself, do I want to do it for a living? Probably not. Don't like that. I like to write books because it's the moment when I consolidate and crystallize what I've been trying and doing and things like that. But I'm not seeing myself, we've got colleagues who write books every year or every 2 years. It's just too much for them. There is one person who I kind of cite a lot, quote a lot in my book. This person not only writes millions of papers, very high quality papers, and books every 2 years, but in his spare time, he writes novels. So, how can you do that? Well, I'm not another person.
I know about that much though.
I read them.
Yeah, yes, I write novels and theory, but I don't write as many words.
Oh,
as I
no.
write.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it, really. Thank you.